Hi Pisces, here is a general look at your solar chart for October 2015, and there's been a few moves which affect your sign. Jupiter's come into your opposite sign, more on that later, and Saturn has gone to the top of your chart, more on that one later as well. But I want to talk about the new moon because it's quite an interesting one this month. The new moon is happening in Libra opposite the planet Uranus, which is transiting through Aries. And that will be occurring on October the 13th at 19 degrees of Libra. Now, that means that every single one of the signs will have the area that Uranus is transiting stirred up a little bit. So just to recap, your area of Uranus is transiting through your material security house area, and this is over the long term. It started in 2011 and it will finish in 2019. And so this is an area that is subject to change and flux and ups and downs sometimes and uncertainties at others, to do with your incomings, your outgoings, your property, your possessions, and other resources which are useful to you and which you value. And maybe during this time there will be a reversal of fortune. There often is, and it can feel like it comes from the outside, but it probably is your own unconscious or subconscious which is sort of pulling the strings from behind the scenes. If you are open to examining what your real deep values are and what you consider to be worthwhile with what you've got to offer in life, and on your own life's journey, and how much you value that and how much you say that you're worthy and you're entitled, then the less likely it is that Uranus in this area there will provide the turns of events and shocks to get you to do that, to honor yourself, because this area is not just about finances and property. It's also about your inborn gifts. It's also about your life's journey and your acceptance, really, of your power, of your worthiness, and your entitlement. So the more you can do that, not in an ego way, of course, but just as you could detach from it, say, a useful organism, not in a personality type of way, although personality is, one of your tools. So this new moon, anyway, is likely to stir up that area that Uranus has been transiting for such a long time and has still got a few years to go. So you'll be noticing occasionally that you'll have to have been on your toes with anything to do with your material security. But you will also have been noticing, maybe some of you, that the more offbeat, the more not mainstream, kind of unconventional you are, or the more unconventional you are to your way of thinking, then the better you might do with Uranus here. This is a good time to run your own small business. This is a good time to use technology. This is a good time to earn money. This is a good time to be using social media to earn money for you. This is a good time to avail yourself of the services that are coming from this explosion, in the information superhighway, to bring the support or the resources to you. So really making good use of the internet. So you'll have noticed that there is an uncertainty in this area here. So you must remain flexible and adopt a fresh attitude to what you've got to contribute, maybe. That would be what I would plump for, even though it is a little bit harder to look within rather than to just deal with things as they come up on the outside. Although ultimately probably isn't harder. And if things have been unsatisfactory, then there is likely, and you feel cramped and you feel like you're outside of your comfort zone, that things aren't right with the property, that things aren't right with the financial stream or the remuneration or whatever, then it's likely that Uranus will help you to put things on a better footing and you will have to keep open to new ideas and keep sort of refreshing that idea of, okay, what is it now that I want? What is it now that I need? I mean, obviously don't get obsessed with it, but every now and again take your own pulse, and then that would tend to meet the criterion of Uranus in that area there. That is maybe one of a number of ways. And then the new moon is happening on the 13th. So from the 13th for 4 weeks, that's a good opportunity time for you to initiate a new beginning regarding joint resources, assets, anything that maybe you've overlooked as an asset as well, or interests you hold with a partner, with a working partner or with a mate. With somebody or with others that you do one-to-one with maybe as well, but make a fresh start by changing the contract, rewriting it, or changing some undesirable setup, that was good before but isn't good now. Changing to do with property, changing something to do with a legacy, or maybe a legacy or an inheritance comes along and changes it for you, which is altogether likely with Uranus on the other end of that polarity. However, this is your opportunity in that 4 weeks to do something to sort of almost like shake the energy up even more, because then maybe it'll free things up and it'll get things rolling along it'll refresh things anyway. Now, other news is that until the 24th, it's a gear shifting phase, and because the sun is in exactly the same place as the moon, because that's why we can't see the moon when the moon is new. It's the dark of moon. So you'll be feeling your way forwards as you intuitively sort of sound things out, suss things out. It's in all pit of the stomach stuff, and you Pisceans are very, very good at that. Sensing, really. It comes out of the blue. It's just kind of in the ether, as it were. And transition will occur when, through mutual action with or challenge from another, your value structure and instinct tells you which is the right way to go now. And that could be to do with the financial side, the property side, the relationship side, the job, anything really. It can just be like little short-term things like, negotiating for a deal, to get a good deal. Venus actually changes places on the 9th, so that's when you really start to click with people. You get more of a favorable support from people, I think, rather than being the supporter all the time, which is your want. Anyway, Mercury's also in the same place as the sun, in this deeper area where so Mercury there can be useful in a number of ways. It helps you to drill down to the root cause of something, to get to the bottom of what's causing behavior in you or behavior in another, or drilling down to what's hidden underneath somebody's sort of very polished, glossy surface about something. It gives you a chance to have more confidential, maybe quite involved or intense conversations as well with another, which are kind of, held in camera. They're kind of secret. This is also a good time for you to be someone's confidant, for you to be supportive to another with your words and with your ideas. And also it might be that you feel quite passionate about somebody or something, and the feelings go deep there. You're very swayed by what's going on and what you're feeling. Or the flip side, it's probably easy for somebody else to sway, or rather you to sway somebody else, or somebody else to push your buttons in a. So just trust your deeper instincts, stay away from ego, try to avoid knee-jerk reactions. Oh dear. Do your best anyway, and get to the base. You can really, really get this kind of, I get that, I know what's going on here, or this is quite emotional for me, but I can feel and know what the best thing is to do here, that kind of thing. Now, Venus has been in a very long transit since June the 6th. Venus has been in a very sort of practical, I am your helper, I am your social worker, I'm your little nurse kind of mood. Favorably highlighting teamwork, though, regarding daily chores, learning skills, running repairs, health matters, your own or somebody else's. So it might mean that somebody's been a little helper for you or a little nurse for you, or maybe you've had to be concerned about somebody else's health. Or maybe it's been like your work has involved a more social side. There's more sort of a sociable feeling going on with co-workers, or if you're working one-to-one with people, or with health providers. In fact, some of you could make a friend, or in fact, there could be a romance with somebody who, in that sort of service provider, health provider, that sort of therapist, that kind of thing. If not that, then at least you can have a pretty reasonable interaction with those sorts of people, and feel quite engaged, feel as though you're getting a lot out of being a help to another, or another, an interaction with you being a help to you in some way. And Venus is coming out of there on the 9th. It's been there for a very, very long transit, and she goes back into her normal cycle from the 9th of about 3 weeks. And then she goes into a very strong area for her, which means that it favors affairs of the heart, things in the romance department. It's quite fleeting, though. However, having said that, also Mars is in there for a little bit longer, although Mars and Venus are both fast-moving inner planets. However, Jupiter has come into there, and Jupiter is going to be there for around about a year, just under a year. Or in fact, yes, when you're listening to this, it'll be about a year. So, first of all, Mars likes to be dynamic and take decisions and take action. So it could be that you and other are having quite a lively time, or a productive time, or you're adventuring together, or you're eliciting strong opinions in each other. It's more likely, it's more likely that you cross swords, or it's more likely that... Okay, so if you're channeling the Mars energy through you, then it's more likely that you don't look before you leap into a relationship, or into saying something to someone which you might later regret, is more likely. Or somebody might be kind of making you feel pushed, making you, so you want to kind of make the space around you so they pull away with their energy. You could handle somebody badly because you just shoot from the hip. It's like a knee-jerk reaction. Or they could handle you badly because the Mars energy is coming at you. So just be aware of that. However, having said that, Venus being in there for 3 weeks will soften things, I think, and it could be quite a sizzly time. It could be actually quite a kind of a juicy, sizzly time for some of you. And then Jupiter is in there as well, and Jupiter is a much slower moving energy which kind of evolves over time, so I'll come to that in a minute. But first of all, Saturn has gone back to the top of your chart, and that's now going to be there in Sagittarius until late 2017. And this is a more dynamic position of Saturn, not without its challenges. It's more meaningful, it's more purposeful. It says, okay, you've got to get your act together where career is concerned for some of you. Maybe having to deal with the paperwork and the rules and the regulations that comes in the wake of something to do with officials or officialdom or bureaucracy, that kind of thing, a little bit more often. And all of that sort of stuff. And because you want to redefine your place in the world, you want to get set up in a different kind of a way, and so you will be gradually doing that over that transit, and as these are very, very long transits of the outer planets, so there's a kind of this wave form, and then as the degrees change, every time they touch into the degrees on your natal chart of important points, that's where you're going to feel it the most. However, having said that, you're going to feel it sort of like ticking away there the whole time. So the way to play this one is that this is you harvesting things from the past, very much so. Might even be to do with the mother energy as well, a sort of a degree of that. Something related to the mother archetype, the mother energy, something related to authority figures as well. And that is sort of come full circle in a way, and you reap what was sown many years ago in your history. But also this transit may emphasize your image, your outer image. So you'll be working gradually, step by step, to get that reputation known, get that image out there in the way you want, in the way that you identify with, and slowly chipping a shape out of a stone, you will get there. And have a look back about 29 years or even 14 years ago, which is when Saturn would have been around about that area again, and get the gist of what's unfolding. Now, you Pisceans born from the 19th to the 24th of February, or with 0 to 5 degrees rising, are going to feel this energy the most. And then until next September, Jupiter is in this area at the moment that the faster planets Mars and Venus are, and what I described about those. And your life is really going to grow and expand through certain key associations. Your horizons are definitely going to broaden. There could be more connection with those at a distance, or more travel through, because you know somebody. There will be more travel because of them. Or you are familiarizing yourself with those from a different culture, a different background. They could be from a distance, or they might just have a knowledge and a different sort of history to you, and you shall be interested in that, and they will be interested in you because your history is different to theirs, and your knowledge is different to theirs, and really your social life could expand a lot, and you could benefit from these new relationships, these important relationships, partners, colleagues, clients, friends, anything like that. Sort of really building a database, even if it's for business reasons, and get you thinking more expansively. They like you for your, well, they like you for you, hopefully, but also they need your knowledge, they need your expertise, and also probably it can be mutual. So through these new connections, and also old connections, which are important, you know, they're important people to you, you will be thinking more expansively and about yourself and about the potential of things. And you Pisceans born the 1st to the 7th of March, or with 11 to 17 degrees rising, will feel the energy the most this forecast period. And finally, Neptune is in your sign again, and during this long transit of Neptune through its home sign, you may sometimes have to make a hard decision between being a support and a sort of prop for another. Being a prop for another is perhaps not a good thing, but you know, being providing a safety net, or working in healing ways, working in service-orientated ways, working in more working from the heart more. When I say working, I mean also this can involve the private life as well. Because we all got very different day jobs, of course, but still coming more from the heart, and in order to serve and facilitate in this world, and all will be well if you keep remembering to integrate your own wishes, because, like I may have said before, you've got your own life to live. Everybody else's is taken. And you Pisceans born the 25th to the 29th of February, or with 6 to 9 degrees of Pisces rising, will feel that energy the most this month. And in conclusion, I just want to apologize, well, for the loud noise, but also if you didn't get your email answered, we've just discovered a broken link on my website where, you know, it's been holiday time. I'm speaking to you at the moment in August. So it's not been dealt with yet. It's been broken for quite a while and it wasn't noticed because people were away. So I just want to apologize to you if you've written to me, and it will be fixed by the time you see this video. And also, if you know your moon sign or your rising sign, it would be good to listen to those. It might give you new angles on what I've said here. And also, if you want to look anything up, this material, the basis of this material that I've just given to you here is written up on my website, DianaGarland.com. And I will see you the next time.